Hey everybody, welcome back. In case you're watching this video before part 1 of the series, I will repeat some previously mentioned details. One of the benefits of Central, compared to other remote access solutions out there, is the unlimited number of users who can access their computers in your account. So ultimately, as we place very strict and granular permissions on any user or group of users, I do highly recommend sending a user invitation to anyone and everyone who will be using Central within your environment. To get started, we will move over to the User section on our left-hand column and select Manage. Here, we are brought to a list of existing users and groups, as well as their statuses. That would be active, disabled, or pending, which means that they haven't accepted their invitation yet. Now that I have user groups created, the actual invitation of the users will make more sense. To add a new user, or several users, click Add Users at the top of the page. We're brought to an almost identical permission screen from where we were when we were building our groups, with the addition of email and a group select field. Let's start with my IT professionals. I add their email addresses into the box and select IT from my group dropdown. Automatically, all permissions I gave to the IT group are applied and are noted with this group symbol next to them. Note that I'm also adding multiple invitees. All of the settings in the permission section below will automatically be applied to all of these users. Towards the bottom, I can view what the text of the invitation looks like, then send the invitation directly from this page. Directed back to our users page, I can see my invited users with the status of pending, awaiting their acceptance of the invitation. I will now follow suit with my marketing group. Once again, I place their email addresses in the box and select Marketing from my dropdown. The relevant permissions are inherited from the group, but here I need to make two vital changes. You will notice that the interface and group computer permission sections still show defaults. To inherit my group permissions, I must select Group Settings Apply for both of these boxes. Now I'm ready to send my invitation. Lastly, I will invite my sales users in the same fashion. If you remember, I specifically left the computer selections blank when creating this group because each individual user should only be able to access their own machine. To do this, I can only invite one user at a time. Therefore, I will enter one email address in the box, select the group settings that apply, and then select the computer the user can access. I will then send this invitation, return to my previous screen, click Add User, and invite the next user on my list, selecting their specific computer this time. For those of you who haven't configured user groups prior to this video, you can still invite users and grant permissions through this process. Simply leave the user group drop-down set to default and select your permissions as you see fit. Now that my users have been invited, I simply need to wait for them to accept the invitations I sent through email. I can see any user who has accepted my invitation by checking the status and seeing which users have become active. I can also resend the invitation if, say, the user deleted the email, or I can toggle a user to disabled by clicking on the word active. This is great for seasonal employees or individuals who will be accessing Central infrequently. Instead of re-inviting a user and reconfiguring their permissions over and over again, you can simply toggle them active or disabled. Despite whether the user is part of a pre-configured user group or invited to the default group, you can always grant additional permissions to any user at any time. For example, if someone in my marketing group requires the ability to configure alert packages, I can select that user individually and grant them and only them this permission. All other users in the group will retain the original permissions you set down. And that's all for the Users section. Be sure to subscribe to this channel for more training videos. Thank you very much.